Harmony Shay, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
So you're obviously ready for Christmas.
I am so ready for Christmas. I have a fun, festive Winter Wonderland show tonight at the Rouge Room. So, how to dress the part.
Awesome. Yeah, it look great. So we met online. We're kind of Instagram friends, and I've been following your career. We almost played together because I'm a bass player as well.
Oh, I'm so bummed we didn't get a play.
Yeah, I know it's my crazy schedule.
I'm there.
Yeah, it's all good. But I know you have a very busy schedule too. So you have a new single out, Not Again, that came out 11/11, which is a great tune. I was checking out all your Spotify stuff today, and it was really awesome. You're a very well-known singer-songwriter. You're very busy here in Vegas. I know you're always working.
Yep.
You're probably one of the busiest singers that I know in town. So
Yeah.
tell me about Vegas and tell me about, so you actually grew up here, right?
I did. I was born and raised here in Vegas, been singing since I was three. Music is my entire life. And honestly, I'm just so grateful that I get to do it for a living and that I am so booked and so busy. I sang for 7 hours last night. I did a back-to-back one, which was a lot, but I love it. I love that. Obviously, it's the entertainment capital of the world, and there's a lot of opportunity for artists here. And I'm just very grateful that I get to play in so many different places and kind of switch it up because I do a lot of different venues that are geared towards different styles.
Yeah, because I kind of do you as a country, or I guess alt country, but you do pop, you do a lot of things. Your songwriting is kind of all over the board. Uh,
Yeah.
how did you first get interested in music? You said you started at a young age. Did you have parents that were musicians, or?
Yeah. My father, he does like vocal impersonations and impressions and stuff. So, literally when I was three, he put the mic in my hand and discovered I could sing. And he's been such a big inspiration for me, just always chasing your dreams. I'm telling you, we go on cruise ships and he runs the karaoke bar. Like everybody knows my single cruise ship. He's super, super talented. So I get musical abilities from him. And it's nice that we have that to relate to.
Awesome. Well, and it's great to have the family connection with that. And I guess, it's funny growing up in Vegas, a lot of people have parents that were entertainers. It's not an uncommon thing, right?
Exactly. And you learn from them and you learn like what to do, what not to do. And my older brother, he does music, but he's more rap and stuff. But, from a young age, he knew that I started writing when I was six. Writing is super important to me. And he kind of taught me about sentence structures and verses and choruses and make things more meaningful instead of just, oh, I slashed your car because you cheated on me. Like put
Right. Yeah.
so I love like my lyrics, I love them to be deeper and very meaningful.
Yeah. Because I was going to say, listening to your music, it's very storytelling, it driven.
Yeah, it's from a lot of mostly personal experiences, which I'm so grateful I have that as an outlet. It's my form of therapy. I always say it's my language. I just understand it. I like to articulate things other people maybe are not able to do. And when they listen to it, it's so amazing when somebody's like, you said everything that I'm feeling that I want to say. And I don't feel alone because I can relate to everything you said. I'm going through it right now. Or when I get those messages from people that are like, oh my gosh, like your songs are helping me through my situation right now. Like my last album was, I went through a divorce and immediately after this whole album just came to me and
That comes pouring out of you. Yeah.
can hear it in the music, but it's like the stages of that. And so anybody also going through that is like, that's the album for you, right?
Well, and that's the thing. It's music and art in general is just about touching people's soul, right? That's when it becomes really meaningful. Who are some of your early influences? Singer, songwriter, whatever.
Goodness gracious, Mariah Carey,
Yeah.
Whitney Houston, Celine Dion. You cannot go wrong with that. Elvis, I love Elvis. Dolly Parton, just to name a few. They're amazing. I love Kelly Clarkson. I love Pink. I love Avril Lavigne. I like to kind of just pull from different artists things that I take away or that they made me feel something. I like when people's voices tell the truth and you can just hear the story in their voice and it's not just somebody just singing with a pretty voice. You can actually feel emotion through it.
Yeah, and those are all very powerful singers, and you have a great voice, a very powerful voice. How do you actually, you mentioned singing like 7 hours last night. How do you maintain your voice? Because in Vegas, it's first of all, for people that haven't been here, it's very dry, the climate, and
Oh,
yeah, it could be smoky, it could be all sorts of things. How do you survive that kind of those singing that many hours a night?
Yeah, well, I do have a great vocal coach that I will take lessons here and there just to make sure I'm still doing good. My vocals are strong. I do exercises every day. Same thing as like going to a gym and strengthening your muscles. I do that for my vocal cords. And it's hard because, sometimes you want to go out and party with your friends and you want to be out but then there's loud music that you're talking over. And I have to think about that every single day where like,
Right. Yep.
I, oh, I can't go do this. I can't shout over music. So I do the teas. I have my throat sprays. I have my lozenges. I have my honey that I bring to every show. I also have like a nebulizer. So I steam my vocal cords. I try not to speak a lot which is hard, but on days that I know I have shows for that long, I try to minimize my speaking and just really take care of myself. Steaming, I mean, all of the things.
Yeah, because that's your world is your voice, right? That it literally is your voice. Trying to get it out there, and then trying to survive that kind of schedule is really tough.
Exactly. And it's a lot of singing. I mean, I had a residency at Jason Aldean's for 9 months, and that was 4 hours, four times a week. I did that with no breaks at all,
Right.
like rested. And so it's like, you just really have to stay on top of it if you're singing that much, because it is the worst when it goes out and you're like, okay, my whole band is let down now because I can't do anything about it. I'm losing money. I hate not being on the stage. So you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, also you mentioned your band because not only you are obviously you're a singer, but you're also a band leader. You're having to wrangle musicians, which is no
Yeah.
easy task, as
No,
you know.
I do not like that part of it. I love working with such incredible musicians, but I hate being the person who's in charge of, all right, we're going to do this, and then I have to curate the set list. And then if somebody's playing something wrong, I have to go to the talkback mic. And it's a lot of hats to wear, but it's all right. It comes with the territory.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's kind of part of the deal, I guess. And even I mean, people like Selena had to do it that way back when. Of course, now she has her people and
Yeah.
with all that stuff. So let's go back to songwriting because you mentioned I know you've written songs for a lot of other folks. Who are some of the people that you've written songs for or with, even?
Yeah, Frankie Marino, he's a huge artist out here in Las Vegas. I'm not sure if you've heard of him.
Yeah,
Kind
yep.
of like Elvis of our time. So I've written a few songs with him. We've co-written some stuff. He actually, one of the songs that I wrote for him went to #1 in Denmark and #2 on the charts for America.
Awesome. Wow.
That was a really big accomplishment for me. Also, just other up and coming artists, Gianna, Bryce Adams, Ryan Miller. They all do different genres, which I like because I kind of get to dabble in, like, I'll write blues, which is really cool because I don't sing blues, but I know
Right.
it, and it's really cool to actually like hear your vision come to life through their voice and see what kind of twist they can do and what spin they put on it, and that's so rewarding to me.
Yeah, it's nice to have an extra set of ears to kind of get feedback from and talk about that with like collaboration because it seems like collaborating is very important for what you do and also with your recording.
Yeah. I will say, I will be fully honest, collaborating is a little hard for me because I'm very like, I hear what I hear in my head and I know what I want something to sound like. But it is amazing when you're working with somebody that comes up with an idea or a line, say, that you didn't think of, or they make your line a little bit better. You're like, oh, I actually really like that. Or that note actually sounds better than what I thought of. So I try my best to be very open to it and not try to control the whole vision.
Yeah, it's I know it's because it's your baby, right? It's hard to
These are my emotions and it's something I went through that I want to talk about. And when somebody's coming in, they're going, I don't think you, I'm like, no, that's what I want to say. Like, right.
Yeah, I think all artists struggle with that because you get a really good producer, and the thing is they're hearing different things maybe than you're hearing. So it's sort of like that is the essence of collaboration, kind of figure out where we're going to ultimately end up, right? Which can be exciting. Depends on who you're working with.
Yeah. Depends on the energy you're working with. And if they have a very similar vision, then it's amazing. I worked with producers who just completely get what I want. And it sounds like what I hear in my head. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you brought this to life from my mind, basically. And when you find somebody like that you just click with and work, like on Not Again, the producer, I worked with two people, Gianna Adams and Santino, and they were amazing. They heard what I heard and they did add so much, like little extra things that I didn't think of, or fillers that while they're sitting there, they're like, oh, what about this? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Or I like the backup and how it escalates and evolves. And when they can add things like that and you find a team like that, it's really cool.
Yeah, the production on all your songs is world class. It's really great. And it's interesting too, because living in Vegas, we know a lot of people that are putting out CDs and doing things, which is great. But you also want to focus globally and be in that kind of production level, which is something that you've achieved with all of your music. How did you find your producers? How do you find people to work with like that you really want to vibe with?
Yeah, they've been people that I've met just through doing music in general. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I want to do a song. The Not Again song, I was talking to again my friend Gianna, who's also an incredible artist. And I was like, I really am itching for my next album. I have so many songs just ready, but I want the right person. And she had done a little bit of production herself, but she was working with Santino, another producer. She goes, why don't you just come and we'll do a session and just see if you vibe? Because, like we said, it's very important that you do have that chemistry. And immediately it just clicked like that. We just started creating the music and everything. And I was like, I love how this feels and I love the energy. And it just works. So it's just, yeah, kind of the networking, just being in the business and
Yeah, the stars kind of have to align.
that part though, if you're starting off and you're writing, where do you go? How do you know what producer is going to be good for you? You can go to a studio and hire a producer, but you don't know how that's going to turn out or what the energy is going to be like in the room, you know?
Right. And you also have to, I mean, you're a very pretty lady. You
Thank
also have to sometimes you have to kind of figure out the motives, right? When they're approaching you.
A whole nother thing in the industry, which is I've dealt with a lot. I've had a few different record deals and I learned a lot through each one.
Yeah.
And it's a very shady music business. And yeah, the motives of people have not always been good, unfortunately, for me. And I'm a very nice person and I hate getting stuck in predicaments like that because it's so uncomfortable. But
Right. Yeah, sure.
I'm in, yeah.
Yeah, it's important, I mean, for young, and that's some, we're going to talk about some advice that you can give young artists, but especially young female artists. They have to deal with a whole different level of kind of, I don't want to say bullshit, but I'll say bullshit. They kind of have to deal with a whole different level. What's something like just on that particular topic? What's some things that you've learned that you could maybe tell younger artists to look out for, especially women?
Honestly, people promising them the world without seeing any delivery on it and then continuing to promise and continuing. I've had people tell me, I'm going to make you a star. I know
Right.
all the people. And do your research. You need to make sure they can actually back it up because you're excited, right? So when you have this excited energy, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a star. And they think I'm the best writer.
They really like me.
I'm the prettiest girl and I'm the best songwriter. And it's just like, no, they're saying that either to get money out of you, to sleep with you, just for your connections or your clout or your name. And you really have to dig deep and make sure they are who they say they are and do backgrounds on these people because it's wild. They lie to you, they will take from you and promise you everything. And you're like, okay, it's been 5 months and I don't see any of the things you promised me. And that's happened many times before to me.
Yeah, and the most valuable thing that you have in life is your time.
Yeah.
So, and that not only for relationships, but for professional business stuff.
Yeah.
It's like if people are wasting your time, then you got to move on at some point, right?
I literally say that all the time. The most valuable thing you can give to somebody else is your time. And
Mm.
you have of it, right? So you got to be smart about it.
That's exactly right. So you have a big passion for traveling. Let's talk a little bit about that because that's something I really enjoy watching your online social media stuff. You're in Paris and then you're in here and there. Tell me how that happened and how that's been for you. Really, it seems like it's really fun.
Travel besides music. It just fills my soul, really does. I love learning about cultures and experiences and meeting people from all walks of life. And I get to do that. I want to see the world God created and connect with as many people. And honestly, a lot of my travel I've been able to write because of my experiences through travel. I'm very fortunate to do it. It's super important to me. And I want to see different places all the time because I know that I'm going to grow and I'm going to learn. And I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of brands. I model as well. So I do photo shoots. I work with brands and I work with photographers in different countries. So it's kind of brought me around the world. I do shows in different places. I got to perform in Paris recently and that was incredible. People are like, they'll see me at one show and the next day I'm posting that I'm in Paris. They're like, wait, what? Like
Yeah,
how
well, that's exactly because I see like, oh, she's in Hawaii. No, she's in Paris.
how did you just get there? I'm like, I kind of just go and
Yeah.
like, oh, where they may, and I know money will always come to me and opportunities will always come to me, and I have to keep that mindset, and it always works out like that. And I've gotten to travel the majority of the world so far.
Yeah, and I kind of came to the same conclusion. I'm like, I used to be like, oh, I'm going to wait until somebody calls me to go do a gig in London
Yeah.
or go do it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go. I'm
Just
just,
go.
eh,
You make contacts and you make connections while you're out there, and like other musicians. Like now I know so many musicians in Paris, which is incredible. And I've performed there twice now, and I would love to go back and do it some more.
yeah, and I mean that's why we're here. To me, like we're here on this planet because it's sort of school for us. It's education. Then we're going to go home. So like while we're here, let's like wake up every day on a mission and try to accomplish something and spread some light, right?
Yes, I like to call myself a professional life experiencer because I want to try everything at least once. I want the experiences. I've been in many different fields so far, and I've done a lot of really cool things because I want to try everything. Like you said, we have this life right now. We don't know when it's going to end, so I want to live while I'm here. I don't want to just stay in my room or be like, "Oh, I'll go next week," or "I can't afford it." Like, no, I'm just going to go and I'm going to figure it out.
Exactly. And I think I mean, that's worked out great for me. The other thing I say is don't worry about what other people think about you. It's none of your business.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That is something I need to work harder on. I have been trying to, but it's not to care, especially in music and stuff, is you care. It's your love, it's your joy. And so like you want people to like it. You want them to like what you're putting out, but not everybody is gonna like you. They're not no, you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, whether it's looks or your voice or your writing abilities or your style. Like a lot of people don't like country, you know?
Yep, that's true.
What are you
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what I think you got to develop. I mean, as a performer too, especially if you're, have a great look and a strong personality. There's going to be people that are going to love you. There's going to be some people that are very jealous. And
Oh,
talk a little bit about that because I know that you're very out there. You have a great look. You're a very busy working person. Talk about dealing with that kind of thing and how you deal with it personally.
yeah, it's hard because I've dealt with it in different ways. Yet because of my looks, a lot of people will prejudge me or just think I'm not a nice person. I've even had people go as far to say, I wanted to hate you just because you're pretty. And I'm
Right.
like, why would you want to hate me? Why would they hate me? I've had friends who are envious of the things that I'm able to do, or even my travels or this or that, who have talked behind my back just because I'm doing things. I've been on stage where I've had hecklers in the crowd, and I've had people tell me like, when is this karaoke set going to end? And they're just shouting just really, really mean things. And I'm like, I'm up here for 4 hours smiling, doing my best. I'm happy. I'm trying to be an entertainer. And like, yeah, it's hurtful, but like you said, it's kind of like, it's not your business. And that's a them thing. That's something within them and they're projecting onto you. And I have to remind myself of that is like, it's not you personally. It's something they're going through or some trauma or insecurities that they have, and I try to just give them love. I try to kill it with kindness and smile and just be like, God bless you.
Yeah, you know what? And that's really great advice. And all entertainers deal with that. That's the thing. No matter, what kind of music you sing, if you're great looking, not great looking, everybody deals with that. But you really have to develop that kind of like Teflon skin and also deal with it in a positive way because there's nothing worse than seeing somebody who's getting rattled on stage because of jerks in the audience. It's like there's nothing worse than that, right?
It's hard not to. When somebody's saying such cruel things and you're just like, oh my gosh, the things that I could say back to you right now, like go somewhere else. Nobody's chaining you to a seat. Like you don't have to sit here, but I bite my tongue and I just smile and I'm like, thank you so much for coming to the show. Like, I appreciate you being here. I'm so sorry I wasn't up to your standards, but hopefully you'll love the next act better. Like, I just try to be kind, just as
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, you know what? Kindness goes a long way, and that's the thing. Like I said, to me, it's like spreading light. It's
Yeah,
important because we need that in this world.
we do.
It's easy to be negative, but if you wake up and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to try to help somebody today. I'm going to try to be an example. That's really all we can do, right?
Yes, and I try to do that as often as I can. I believe so strongly in kindness. I don't understand cruelty or just being unkind to one another. We're all human beings, whether you have money or status or fame, we're human beings. There's never ever an excuse to be rude to somebody. You can say things in two different ways. Like, why wouldn't you choose to be kind? I'll never understand that with people. And it does affect me a bit just because I'm like, I don't get it. I would never behave like that to other people. So when people do that to me, I'm like, I don't know how to process this. Why are you being like this? But
Yeah.
got to do you.
I know that's it. Yeah, you got to be authentic to who you are. That's the super important thing. So what do you have coming up? Because I know you have the new single out. You're doing shows. Or what's your next travels? Are you going to be recording again soon, or what's happening with that?
Back in the studio this month. Early next year, I'm going to release my next single. I have about 11 songs that will be coming out early next year, which I'm super, super, super excited to put out. Performing all the time. So I have Rouge Room tonight, which is one of my very favorite venues to perform in. I get to do my country band there, and I love working a stage. I love entertaining and all that kind of stuff. But then I also have I do Delilah at the Wynn, so that'll be not tonight but tomorrow. I do Delilah, which is completely different. I get to
Yeah,
play.
that's like an evening gown.
Yeah, I'm in an evening gown. It's a very jazzy, bluesy type of a feel. Sometimes it's swing. I'm with different musicians all the time there, so I get to learn and grow in that way. And then I also tour with Legends in Concert. Next year,
Okay.
I'll probably be doing the Carrie Underwood for them, which I'm really excited about. So that's a whole production show. So I get to switch gears and go do that. And then sometimes I do fun duo, very like acoustic duo, intimate with just the people who are right in front of me. It's smaller venues. And I love all of it because I get very like bored. I don't want to be stagnant. Like I need and so when I get to switch up who I'm around and the types of things I'm doing and the challenges that I'm taking on, that's really important for me. Travel, yes. I'm actually going to be going on a cruise right before Christmas. I'm going to
Oh, nice.
go. Really excited for that. And then early next year, I will be doing more countries. I'm going to do Tuscany, Australia, which I'm very excited about. Australia, I think Iceland and Aruba.
Oh, nice.
On my list for next year so far.
Well, yeah, Aruba at Iceland I've been to. We did a Legends in Concert show in Iceland. This is like 15 years ago. We were there for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and it's such a cool place.
Yeah. How did you like it? Did you do the Blue Lagoon?
We did all that stuff. Yeah,
Oh.
it was actually the guy that owned all the movie theaters in Iceland. He actually had a theater right downtown Reykjavik. He built a stage in one of his movie theaters, and we performed there for 2 weeks. So it was so fun.
I'm so jealous. It looks so beautiful. There's some places that I've just been wanting to go for a long time. Aruba looks beautiful too. So I'm really excited to just explore it and see what it has to offer.
Well, that's all very exciting, and I love travel too. I normally go to Finland this time of year, but I'm a sports photographer for Sports Illustrated with the Raiders, so it's just been impossible to go anywhere this year.
That's why you couldn't perform with me because those Raiders.
Yeah, they're having a tough time.
I know.
Yeah.
But that's exciting for you. Do you have any cool travels coming up next year?
I'm going to be going to Finland. I've got shows in Finland. We have a record thing over there, and then also I played on a couple of people's records, and they have tours that are coming out March and April. So I'm going to go for probably like a month and just do some different shows. Yeah.
In there, but it looks gorgeous. I would love to see Finland.
Well, we'll have to get you over there. There's such a cool music scene, and there's so many nice people.
Oh, I would love it. I'm sure I would love it.
Yeah, and actually, I have a friend of mine. She's actually a songwriter who's written for a lot of people, and she's a pop star in Europe. And she's coming here. I will connect you with Janneke. You guys should meet. Maybe you guys could write together.
Love that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Tell people how they can find you online and your social media and website, all that stuff.
My Instagram is just at Harmony Shay, SHAY_ at the end. That's like my more prominent social media. Obviously, I have Facebook and stuff, but I do forget to check Facebook and I feel really bad because then I see the messages and they're so old and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't think to check this. So Instagram is my best one. I have the TikTok, same name, just Harmony Shay. But mostly I'm on Instagram.
Yeah, your Instagram is really fun, and there's always something happening. And again, you have like all of your travel stuff, which is really awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. I know you're very busy, and I know you've got a show to head to right now.
Sound check. About to leave to run to the Rouge Room. I'm very excited.
Awesome.
You got to come to a show sometime.
I will do that. Yeah, once the Raiders, they're not going to the playoffs, so once we finish up, then I'll have more time.
Yes, please do. I would love you to come.
Okay, well, we'll do that, and maybe we'll get a chance to gig together sometime too. That would be fun.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. And we'll have this out and I'll put all your information so people can find you and check out the also like your Spotify link so they can check out your new music. So thank you very much, Harmony. Have an awesome day and I'm sure we'll be running into each other soon.
Yes, definitely. I hope you have the most happy holidays and you're not too cold.
Right. Same to you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
Bye.